Yeah, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jake, aka In God's Reach here, bringing you guys another video. Today we're going to be kind of doing an underrated gem video, but it's going to kind of be more of a retrospective type video, and we're going to be talking about the game Vampyr. You know, remember guys, the game that came out back in like 2018 or early 2019 from the makers of Life is Strange, and I want to talk about this game because I feel like it didn't get the credit that it deserved when it first came out, because there was a couple bugs, there was some glitches in the beginning, but when they kind of mastered this game up and, you know, did frequent updates and frequent bug fixings, I feel like this game was just an outstanding masterpiece, especially for like a 2020 game. Now it is a 2020 masterpiece, hence the title. And I just got done beating this game for the very first time yesterday. Right? It took me about 20 hours to beat, and I just want to talk about it, man. I want to talk about this game because there's not enough Vampyr type games. The last Vampyr game I played was Vampyr, I think it's called Vampyr the Masquerade Bloodlines. And they're supposed to be having a Bloodlines 2 that's coming out this year, but who knows. But that game, the first Bloodlines, came out in 2004, and I didn't play that until like 2016. So the outdatedness was just like, I didn't really get captivated into the game because of the fact that it was so old that it was really hard to get into a game like that, especially coming from a game like The Witcher 3 or, you know, The Last of Us, which is a game that's very story based and very great. And then you go to a game like Vampyr the Masquerade Bloodlines, which is an outstanding story, but it's harder to get into because you're so used to the graphic appeal, you're used to the solid gameplay mechanics, and you're used to that type of shit. Now, with this game, Vampyr coming out, it relies heavily on the RPG element. And I know that there's a lot of people that don't, I don't know, you got to consider this game an RPG because it's a role-playing, it is the definition of a role-playing game. The role that you make as Dr. Reed, Jonathan Reed, the main character, not only affects him, it not only affects him, the end game, but it also affects every single NPC that you basically talk to in the game, right? You can kill every single NPC, or you can let every single NPC live. And every NPC is very, very beneficial in this game. And I think that that's something that a lot of other developers really need to do in a game, right? And a game like this particularly, because it's not necessarily open world, right? You have certain places that you can go at certain times in the game, but it's a game that really does let you explore a lot of things while not being open world, and I think I love that aspect as well. The one gripe that I did have playing through the whole game was, at least I didn't find it, I might be dumb as hell, but there's no fast travel. You can't fast travel in this game, man. In a couple of these side quests, let alone the side quests and the side missions from the NPCs, are great, and they're very, very captivating and very fulfilling. I didn't feel like I did the same thing twice, right? There's not a lot of like, what do you say? What's the word that you call? You know, there's not a lot of repetition in this game, right? It didn't get really repetitive. The side quests didn't get repetitive at all. I didn't feel like I was grinding for anything. A lot of it was, I mean, every side quest was different because every NPC had a different story, and a couple NPCs social links linked together. So they had like a story of their own within like 3 separate people, and I thought that that was just an outstanding thing as well. But I found that some of the side missions and side quests would have you go from one side of the map all the way to the other side of the map in the same side quest, and you're like, I can't fast travel. Like he has hideouts that he can go to, which is where you evolve, you sleep, evolve, upgrade your abilities or upgrade your health and your stuff like that. But you can't fast travel from that point. And I don't know, maybe you can, maybe there is a way, but I don't think you can. And I thought that was a huge gripe of mine, man, a huge gripe of mine. Because I'd go to like the first place, Pembroke Hospital, and then I'd have to go completely to like the end of the West Docks, and then completely to the back of Pembroke Hospital again, just to complete this mission, and it was just a hassle at sometimes, right? Just sometimes. It wasn't awful the whole time, but definitely probably the biggest gripe in this game is no fast travel. I could have gotten through this game with all the side quests that I did probably in about 10 to 12 hours. if I was able to fast travel. A lot of it was walking, running around. The fact that, you know, the characters respawn and the enemies respawn, and then, you know, they're basically a higher level than you. If you don't eat civilians and feed on civilians, you're going to be out-leveled the whole game, which makes it a lot more difficult to get through. There is an achievement on PlayStation and on Steam that if you get through the game without killing a single person, you do get that achievement if you're going for like a platinum trophy. I think there's an achievement too that if you kill everybody, you get an achievement as well. But yeah, the fast travel was just definitely one of the gripes. But I don't know, man. You know, this is kind of like a random video because I don't do a lot of retrospective type stuff on games that I really enjoy. But this game, for one, was just, I don't know, man. I played it on the PS4 when it came out, and I just didn't get into it. And then I bought it on my PC, and it not only runs smoother, but it looks better. And I felt like there was no bugs. I felt like the gameplay mechanics were really, really fluent. Everything was really solid. And the voice acting is just stellar. The soundtrack is a hell of a soundtrack. I love the OST on this game. It's insane. And then the story, man. I got through the story, and the story was incredible. You know, the story was an incredible story, and it kind of reminded me more of like a Dracula type of story within the romance of him and the girl that he ends up meeting, who ends up being a vampire / Ekon 2 is what they call it. There's kind of like a love triangle there, and I kind of felt like a Dracula type of story, like a Bram Stoker's Dracula type story with Mina and Dracula. And having an itch, if you have like a Dracula or a vampire itch, this game hits it to the T of it, you know, fulfilling that itch. I ended up watching the Dracula series, not the new Netflix series, but the Dracula series that came out in 2013 on NBC, or on NBC, not NPC. I've been saying NPC so many times, but on NBC, it has stars Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, who's an outstanding actor from like The Tudors. But he's Dracula, and that only went one season, and I loved that show. I binge watched the whole season in a day. It's only 10 episodes. And I loved the show. I thought the show was outstanding. And I wanted to play something that was like a Dracula vampire type of game. So I picked this back up. If you have Origin, you can get this on the basic. If you pay $5 a month for Origin, you get this for free on basic, right? Which is brilliant because it's an outstanding game to spend money on, but also better if you get it for free and only spend $5 a month. But this game, it fulfilled that itch to a T, man. I'm going through and playing through it again. The gameplay that you're going to see here is the second playthrough that I'm doing right now. It's basically the prologue. Gets you a nice taste at the story a little bit, and then gets you a nice taste of the combat. But it just, you know, I feel like there's not enough vampire games, Dracula-type games out there, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people need to create. I want developers to create Dracula vampire type games, right? And I thought this game was outstanding because of the fact that you didn't need to be a bad guy. But then again, you know, if you're playing a vampire game, you want to do vampire shit. You don't want to, you know, just be a puss the whole time and go through. And I mean, that was the thing with me. I ended up getting through the game. I was like 3/4 of the way, chapter 5, and there's only 7 chapters. I was 3/4 of the way through the game, and I was getting slapped by bosses. I mean, bosses were like 8 levels above me. I was getting slapped by bosses, and I said, you know what, dude, screw this. I'm killing some civilians that are worth 5,000 XP. I'm evolving my character, and I'm kicking ass. I'm sick and tired of feeling like a bitch, and I'm kicking ass. And I ended up doing that, and I felt so bad because the narrator, like the guy who talks in your head in the game, was like, you were so close. You're so close to the end, you know. Well, I was so proud of you. You were so close. And I was like, man, screw you, dude. Like, making me feel bad for the decision that I wanted to do. And I don't know, this game really does make you feel bad when you finally join that dark side and just start killing everybody. And then it makes you feel good when you don't kill anybody because, you know, but then again, you're getting slapped by boss fights. You know, you're getting slapped by enemies. And there's a shit ton of enemies in this game, and you're going to start getting annoyed because it takes you 5 minutes to kill 3 enemies instead of like if you were a higher level, it would only take you like 2 minutes. So, but the game really does, it does a solid job at, you know, satisfying that vampire itch. It does a really, really, really good job. The developers did an outstanding job. Like I said, the soundtrack is also excellent. I think the weapon choice is excellent. You can craft at the crafting table. I think the evolution of the world is excellent. If you kill somebody, it has an outstanding impact and a huge consequence on the world that you're playing in. Even if the character's not that big of a deal, killing that character is going to bring down your district maybe into a serious or a critical level. You know, especially if you kill people at Pembroke Hospital. And you can kill anybody. It doesn't matter. You can kill the dude who ends up saving you, you know, in this game, or who you end up going to the hospital back with. You can kill anybody. And it's just an outstanding game with a lot of replayability, a huge amount of replay value. And I think it's something that you guys got to pick up. I think it's something that you guys got to really pick up. You have to experience this game firsthand. You might think the controls will look clunky. You might think that the game kind of looks clunky for a 2018 to 2020 type of video game, but it's one of those games that's more of like a, you know, like a not necessarily a AAA title, but more of like a B-graded game, to where it's like one of those games that you just pick up because it's cheap, the cover looks cool, and you're like, oh, it's a vampire game, cool. If you didn't know anything about it, you'd pick this game up just out of curiosity, and you'd be like, damn, this game's really good for how much I spent on it, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, or whatever it is nowadays. Or you get it for free on Origin, like how I did. And you'll be like, damn, like this game is solid. It's a really good game. And I just think, you know, you guys gotta give it a shot if you haven't already. If you did already play it, let me know how you feel. I think a sequel would be awesome. Improved gameplay mechanics, improved character development. But honestly, I feel like they could keep the abilities the same, just add a couple more, and they could honestly keep the consequences in the story of how, you know, everything rolls out. The RPG elements, I feel like they could keep the same too. But I just wanted to talk about this game because I've been in love with it for like the past 4 to 5 days. I'm on vacation this week, and this is literally the only game I've been playing every morning for like 5 hours, 6 hours straight in the morning. And I just wanted to make this video because of the fact that I really like this game. I feel like you guys got to experience this game, and if you don't like it, let me know why. But that is going to wrap the video up. I hope you guys did enjoy. I will be bringing some more retrospective type games like this, or videos like this, to where I don't play the game, but I just talk over it, because I do really enjoy these types of videos and making these types of videos. So without further ado, I hope all you guys have a great and peaceful weekend, because you guys are going to probably be watching this on Saturday or Sunday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. Thanks.